get started with figuring out if there's truly a difference in my longer process versus the slower process. So let's do, on this side of my face, let's do the slower process with more steps. And then on this side of the face, we'll do like I'm gonna rush, I just need to get some foundation on my face real quick. I'm gonna start with a foundation primer. I'm squeezing the last little bit of my Smashbox Photo Finish primer. I'm going to apply this with a complexion blender brush. I used to use Prep brush for the foundation primer, but I found that I like the complexion brush. Then I use the Prep brush for the strobe cream. I think that works better for the strobe cream too. So I switched it up a little bit, which I do from time to time. If it works, keep it. If it doesn't work, find something else. The first step in the difference between the two starts with the strobe cream, where I want some extra illumination. So part of the process, or part of the reason of doing this process with the two different sides, is I have recently gotten into doing a lot of pre-foundation work. So it started with color correctors. A couple years ago, I did a video. Full coverage foundation is meant to be just that, full coverage. So nothing underneath should be shining through, but we know it does because our beard shadow shows through. So I did that. Turns out color correctors really do make a difference, even under full coverage foundation. Then I started doing pre-highlighting, then the strobe cream, and now I just kind of want to see, after adding all of those steps, how many of those steps are really making a difference. The next step that I do is color correcting. I'm going to do that on both sides because I know for a fact that color correcting works. Let's work this in with a sculpting brush. This is the MAC Prep and Prime highlighter in Peach Luster. It's got an orange undertone to it. It works as a color corrector. I also think when using a color corrector, it starts the foundation application process. So you don't have to use so much of your foundation to get a full coverage, because it already starts the camouflaging and the concealing. And I think the less makeup you can get away with, the better. In a picture, yeah, it looks great, but up close, it can look really crunchy really fast. You just layer on like this thick layer of pancake stick, or just the heavy duty foundations. My mind's a little scattered today. I got really high right before this video. You're watching and you're like, why is she so slow today? Because I turned myself way the fuck down, that's why. I don't know when I'm posting this video, but it's Friday today. My husband is off work early today, even though he works from home. He's downstairs doing his work. I'm up here doing my work. Maybe today will just be a little chatty video. I really don't do chatty videos because I think that you guys think that they're boring, and I want to entertain you, or at least share my information with you guys. I don't know. Let's do one and let's see how it works. I did already forget my train of thought because my mind moves really super fast, which is why I try to slow it down a little. It's Friday, so I just thought I'm going to relax. I got a bunch of stuff taken care of this morning and yesterday. It's been a productive week, even though I am shut down from my other business. Because in California, people don't know how to get their fucking shit together and wear a goddamn mask. So the consequence is people like me are now out of fucking work. Thank you, Karen. My mind moves so fast. I just jump from shit, and I really try to slow myself down for these videos rather than just some rambling ADHD OCD drag queen. Okay, so this is the MAC Studio Conceal and Correct. This used to be a duo. It's how it was sold. So I've got ochre on this side, and then I had pure orange on this side. And this was my favorite color corrector. It's dual-sided, so it was basically one product, which meant less space on my makeup table. And it gave me my under eye color corrector and my beard corrector. Cliff notes: blue neutralizes orange, violet neutralizes yellow, and green neutralizes red. I am blue through here, so I use an orange one, and I can get purple or violet through here, so I use a yellow one, and this was like 2 for 1. I also like the fact that it's a stick applicator. I am going to miss that. I really do like the speed of having something like this that you can just boop, boop, like that's it, it's done. I'm sure everybody that's had a favorite MAC product that they're upset was discontinued. And they're number 5 lashes. Damn, before 301s, MAC number 5s stack a couple of those, chop into them to kind of break them up a little bit. That was a fucking drag lash. Are you watching, Matt? Can you bring back the number 5s, please? Or hybrid of 5 and a 301 together? Or an Ardell 253? I'm gonna do a lash stacking video too. This is an Expert concealer brush, and I just worked that ochre conceal and correct. That just helps to eliminate that shadow of violet that really lies right here in the trough area. Not really too much on the outside. I don't even get it there. But the other thing that I want to test pre-highlighting under the foundation. And I'm going to use standard Kevin Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer in SX01. And this is a Bold Metals Collection 102 concealer brush. So the nose is going to be hard, but I'm going to try. So let's just do like half of a little highlight here, and then half of a little highlight here. And then let's just do this half of the forehead, this half of the upper lip and the chin. And then I like to do this guy right here, that little like Christy Turlington jawbone pop and the cheekbone. Expert Edge Large. And let's start with the little areas first, because as we work, it's going to build up on the brush. And then as we move from one section to the next, the application will just naturally get a little bit more intense. And so I save that for the areas where I really need, or can get away with that higher level of product intensity. And these don't have to be blended perfectly, because it's like a pre-highlight. It's going to get covered up. Yes, you need to blend it a little bit, but if you over blend this, it'll just get lost. Moving on to the foundation. The quick and easy one is just a Kryolan TV paint stick, painted on all over and then mushed in. The other one is a Kryolan TV paint stick on the beard down, and then using MAC Studio Fix fluid. I actually take C4 and C4.5 and I mix them together. And the reason why I use this with this when I'm taking my time to really do it is because the finish on this one is a semi-matte or a velvet finish, and so it creates a much softer look. This is also medium to full coverage, whereas this is going to be full coverage. So this one allows me to get a balanced look on the skin up here, where I don't necessarily need as much makeup because I'm not covering beard like I am down here. So I use the really heavy guy underneath, and then I smooth everything out to create a more natural looking appearance with this before powdering everything down. Just gonna put this on all over. Let's work that in with a foundation brush. And again, I'm going to start where I need less makeup, because as I work through my face, like with the other brush, it's going to build up on the brush. This also gives you the opportunity to really see a side-by-side comparison. So if you have an question about, does this lash look better than this lash? Do my eyeliner this way, does it look better than doing it this way? Do a half face and compare them. Let's get into this side of the face, where I'm still going to use the Kryolan TV paint stick on the bottom half of my face. And I'm going to work that in with the same foundation brush. I don't want to overlap too much, because I've got that highlighter right here. If I start doing this because it's the same foundation, then it's going to shift that pre-highlight over, and then it'll get blended, and I won't be able to see if it's actually doing the job. And I think you can already see the highlight on the upper lip, just comparing Kryolan TV paint stick to Kryolan TV paint stick. For the top half of the face, the MAC Studio Fix fluid, and I'm using an Expert face brush to apply that. Tapping this in. Now this is automatically going to look lighter, because the MAC color is a lighter color than the Kryolan TV paint stick, because I want a darker color on the bottom half of my face to create a natural shadow through here, so that, like, I create the contour on the forehead, everything gets pushed towards the center of the face. But I do take this and do bring it down and blend it on top so that you don't have a line. It's going to take a little bit longer, but I think the benefits are worth it if you have the time, which is why I also have this sort of like speed foundation process. I'm not going to contour this side of the face. because if I'm trying to get through it in a speedy way, I will skip this step because it takes a lot longer to blend with the cream than it does to just take a powder contour at the end and contour that out. So that's what I'll do on this side. And I'm gonna do the cream on this side and work that in with a Real Techniques stippling brush. Carve out the jaw. I don't like to do too much carving on the nose. I kind of like my nose and I think it works for my aesthetic. I am going to do highlighter on both sides of the face because I think I still do that on my fast application. Start here on the cheekbone, working this highlighter in to really get the cheekbone to pop. With this application, we're using more makeup. We're playing a lot more with light and shadow to create a specific shape to the face. It looks a lot more blended now that the highlighter is in, but you can really see there's a softness and a lightness and much more sort of play on the angles of the face with the shadow and the highlight, whereas this one, it's been picked up with the highlighter, but it's still, to me, it's just a very flat canvas, whereas this has much more dimension. Next, I need to powder everything down. MAC setting powder in Invisible, which is a true translucent powder. There's zero color to it, zero tone to it. It's going to set the makeup, but it's going to do absolutely nothing to change the color, the complexion, or the undertone of the makeup. So I'm going to go powder down, and then I'll be right back after my mug beat. I'm back. I'm freshly beat. Let's go ahead and dust off the excess powder here. True translucent powder looks very white when you first put it on, and it can look a little kind of chalky, but it doesn't stay like that. It works its way into the makeup and it mixes with the oils in the makeup and it dries down. This is just more, it's like, it's younger looking, it's brighter, it looks lifted. This side, it just looks like there's makeup on there. My two contouring colors are Blunt and Taupe. I apply taupe with a Rebel Edge broad brush, following the cream contour line. So this is definitely softer. This creates a little bit more depth underneath the taupe, and I think so it gives it more of a 3-dimension and makes it look a little bit more cut. Let's do the forehead. And then just kind of like a windshield wiper, I go back and forth, getting that beige rainbow in there. Again, following the cream contour, our natural structure plays with light and shadow. So what we do with makeup is to tweak the way that does play with light and shadow. So you just got to be really conscious and aware and make sure that you're not exacerbating the problem. It's a bit of a difficult process for me, I'll be honest with that, but I do the best that I can with it. It's what happens when you get into your 40s. Gravity starts to take its toll. And it sucks, guys. So if anybody out there has a hookup for the potion, leave it in the comments downstairs because I'm interested. Second contour color is Blunt. And for that, I'm going in with a smaller brush. So I'm switching to the Rebel Edge medium brush. I'm much more light-handed with the Blunt than I am with the taupe. Really just working that back half of the contour. So the taupe is like from here to here. Blunt is going to be from about here to here. So it doesn't look like you've got a streak of blush. It looks like you've got a really popped, defined cheekbone. And as you come around to the front of the face, where when we're young, we have that baby fat and that softer, more youthful, rounded look, it doesn't cut into that and look too weird or artificial. Let's just get these little recessions in here. I just like to make it look a little bit smaller and more feminine. Oh, Blunt, let's do a little jaw work. This always makes me nervous, guys. Okay, so I just try to when I take pictures, I go from like my regular stance and then the camera turns on, and then all of a sudden it's like the model pose starts to come out. And so I know how to work my angles. Obviously when I relax, it's not the same. So I get that angle, and then that's where I carve, and then I let it relax, and where it falls, it falls. And sometimes you guys have seen me use face tapes, and that really helps too. But I feel like if I were to do it like this, then it's overly done, and then you see what you've done, and it brings even more attention to it in a bad way. I'm just gonna kind of stretch it, and then come in right through here where I see that little bit that needs to be corrected. Facelift is good too. Soon, hopefully. Or that potion. Tell Miss Lisa Von Rumor I'm ready. I don't like to cook. Cooking is where you take a really light powder, not a translucent, but one that actually has a very pale tone to it. And you put that under here, you put that on the nose, tip, here, through the jaw, up in the middle of the forehead, and you let it cook while you do the rest of your makeup. And the idea is that the longer the powder stays on your face, the more it works itself into the makeup. And when you're using that really light powder, that's what's on the surface. And so it creates this highlight. In photos, it pushes back so much that it really does look like you just have white under your eyes rather than a really beautiful, lifted, full cheekbone. So I don't cook, but I need to put powder down here to catch the fallout from my eyeshadow so I don't ruin my face makeup, because I don't like to do my eyes first and then my foundation. So I take Studio Fix pastels in Shivering White, and I use that with a Real Techniques soft accent brush, and I place that where I want that extra highlight, where the traditional cooking areas of the face are, and that helps to give a little extra illumination. I'm still seeing a difference. I hope that you guys can see that. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and show you how I finish the face makeup once I've done my eyes, lashes, brows, and all that good stuff. See you in a minute.